G'day folks. I recently released a video doing a long-term review of all the off-road modifications I've done to the FJ Cruiser behind me over the past 7 or 8 years. Now, in that video, I mentioned that I wasn't too happy with the spotlights I have on the car and I'm looking to replace them. Would I choose the same thing again today? Probably not. Now, there's nothing wrong with these spotlights. They do the job just fine, but there are better products on the market. After releasing that video, I was contacted by a company called NovSight, and they make a variety of lights for your four-wheel drive, and they offered to send me one of their products to review. Now, they have a 3-inch off-road pod light. I'm going to open the package in a sec, but they've sent me this one, and within the one light housing you have a choice of different types of lights. So they can do driving lights, fog lights, spotlights or floodlights, and I'm choosing to review the 3-inch floodlights. I've got other plans for my spotlights, but I do need some floodlights, so let's go have a look at what's in the pack, and then I'm going to install them, and then we'll head out back on the tracks and demonstrate the use of the floodlights at night. Alright, so here we are. This is the NovSight 3-inch pod light. Now let's have a look at what's in the box. Right, I don't normally do unboxing videos, but comes with an installation manual, and this contains instructions for how to install it. You basically hook it up, positive and negative, to your battery. It's got a relay, and from the relay there's a switch, and then you plug in your two lights, so fairly straightforward. Let's have a look at the product. Ooh, look at that. Let's have a look at one of these lights. That's pretty. So first impressions are, it's one solid aluminium moulding, and it looks like it's waterproof, probably IP67 rated. I'll double check that. It's got a black cover on top of the light. So we'll take the black cover off. Ooh. That's a nice looking light. That is a beautiful looking light. So I believe that the only difference between the driving light, spotlight, floodlight and floodlight, is that all of them, is the type of cover over the lens over the lights, and possibly the lights, but the actual housing is the same. So the end of the light, the plug, is the standard plug you get for spotlights, so that's a good thing. And it comes with these nice amber covers. So pop those on. There we go. So if you don't like your lights being too bright at night, then that's always a nice option to use. And I might actually use that because it keeps the bugs away, and sometimes a really bright white light at night, try saying that 3 times quickly, it can be very harsh. So sometimes a nice amber light is really nice. So what else comes with it? Here is the wiring loom. It's got a relay, it's got a switch, and it's got 2 plugs, one for each light, and it's got your positive and negative to go onto the battery there. So fairly straightforward installation. It's got some nuts and bolts and Allen keys, and it has a nice bracket. That's a nice looking bracket. So that will go this way. Yeah, that'll go onto the lights like that. These are beautiful looking lights. I can't wait to install them and have them working. Right, the next step is to work out where I'm going to install them on the car. Now, there's no room on the front bumper for the floodlights, and the floodlights, I don't think they really should go on the bumper in my case. I've got these spotlights which I'll be replacing with something else. If I put them anywhere else, they're going to block the existing headlights and indicators, so the front bumper is probably not suited for these, but up there just underneath the tent on the load bar is, I think, where I'm going to put them. Let's have a closer look. Okay, so I think I'm going to install them here. I'm going to have to make up a little bracket, and I'll have them facing a little bit outwards so that they fill out the dark between where the spotlights stop working and the side of the car, so it illuminates the side of the track nicely. So next step is to make the brackets, install the lights, wire it up, and then we'll come out and test them at night. Alright, so it's a week later and I've installed the lights and I think they look okay. Let's have a closer look. So you can see where I've mounted the lights, and I've made a bracket for the lights, and the bracket basically fixes onto the top of the rhino rack rail, and they're angled a little bit out, and that's how I want it. So essentially I'd like the lights to basically point, instead of pointing forward, they're pointing a little bit out, just so it fills out more of the side of the field of view rather than straight ahead. Now let's have a look at the installation and wiring under the hood, bonnet, call it what you will. Let's pop this and have a look. So installation was pretty easy. I've got my positive and my negative to the battery. There's a 30 amp fuse in here, and that then goes to a relay which I've mounted to the side of the car here. And then we've got wires that go up to one light and the other light on the other side. Couldn't be easier. Okay, so it's almost sunset, nearly time to go for a night drive and try out the lights. This is what they look like in their normal mode. Now let me go put the amber covers on and see what the difference is. Okay, so this is what the lights look like with the amber cover on. I think they look absolutely fantastic. They give off a really pleasing level of light. It's not as harsh as the white lights. They're only 40 watts, but they're still pretty bright. So with the amber on, I think it's a really nice light, and they're meant to just fill out the sides of the car so that they light up the sides of the track. And yeah, I think that'll be a really nice, pleasant view. It'll reduce eye strain. So yeah, we're just going to watch the sun go down and then go for a drive. Alright, so time to go for a night drive. The sun has just set, so let's go and see what these lights look like at night. Alright, so what you're seeing now is just the headlights, and if I put the high beam on, you'll see that it's a little bit brighter, but it doesn't make a huge amount of difference to the overall illumination. So if I put it back to headlights, and now I turn on the NovLight, you'll see that it doesn't project forward very far, but it rounds out the field of view really nicely. Especially it makes it very wide and very nice. So if I now add my spotlights into that mix, so that's my high beam on with the spotlights, it is really bright and really wide light as well. So if I now turn off the NovLight, then what you're left with is the spotlights themselves give a very blindingly bright spot in the middle of the road, but you don't see anything off to the side. But adding the NovLight suddenly illuminates a really wide range, almost 180 degrees. It looks really great. So now let me put on the amber covers and we'll see what difference that makes. So one note, these amber covers, they've got these little legs here, and they're fairly strong, but I wouldn't go taking them on or off too much because, well, you have to be very careful that you don't break these off. So I would choose to have them either on all the time or off all the time, just to make sure you don't damage them. So let's go put these on. Okay, so let's do that test again. So at the moment I've got just the headlights on and it's pretty dim. If I add the NovLights to it, with the amber, it's a lot dimmer than before, but it's, well, obviously it's a yellow light, but it's a very soft sideways illumination. Now if I add my spotlights into the mix, This is with the spotlights and the NovLight. I turn the NovLight off, and yeah, you lose a little bit off the side. So if I was driving in the bush late at night, which I am at the moment, if I turn the NovLight on, yeah, it makes a difference. It brightens the field of view, it widens the field of view, and they look really, really nice. Beautiful, I love it. So there you have it, guys. That's the 3-inch pod lights by NovLight. This is the fog light configuration. I've got the amber lights on, and they look absolutely fantastic. But more important than looking fantastic, from a driver's perspective, they really widen the field of view. If you saw them the way I've got them now, they really soften the view, and they just is fantastic. I haven't decided yet whether I like the amber configuration or the without the amber covers on. They are both really good, and it's very handy to have the covers so you can change them at will. So guys, there you go. That's the pod lights by NovLight. If you're looking for a set of fog lights, driving lights, spotlights, or floodlights, check out NovLight. They are fantastic. So thank you again, and I shall see you in the next video. Cheerio, guys.